Okay. Okay. Wait. Let me turn that down. Don't worry, I got it. Ugh. Hello. It feels like it's been ages. Hang on, let me just adjusting. There we go. Okay. Hello there. I'm ThatMetroidGuy. So yeah, a lot has happened. I'm working on the Prime 4 review video. So, like, just to be clear, that's gonna be slated to come out on the year anniversary of it. It's gonna be big. And that's partially why I wanted to set this up. So, hey, Chai's just looking at me. Oh, he's twerking right next to me. Yeah, so, a couple things. I tried to upgrade my PC. Keyword tried. It did not have it. It was during a heatwave. Yeah, not the best idea to start upgrading when we have record temperature highs in the UK. Yeah, it just would not work. The RAM was definitely what was affected. When that got delivered, the sticks were warm. Not the best sign. I got, like, refunded for it and stuff, but I wanted to have a new setup by the next time I streamed, so yeah. And the worst part is the RAM I have, it's not compatible with the CPU, excuse me, and motherboard that I got, which I didn't know it wouldn't be beforehand. I didn't know DDR5s were a thing. I didn't know they made a 5th Dance Dance Revolution. But yeah, it was a whole kerfuffle. So we've put the old system back together. And this is honestly a test to make sure everything is, like, working fine. Oh no, like, the RAM I got... Hey. Why are you being nosy? You can tune in. I'm not on Twitch. You can't just say you're lazy. I know you don't. So yeah, we sent the RAM sticks back and got refunded because they clearly just didn't work. But yeah, the RAM I've got, the RAM I always had, I'm using right now. So yeah, same system. The PC got wiped. So this is essentially just testing to make sure it's all working. We will get to the lore. I've even set up a playlist for the music for it. Why do you hate this model? I love it.
So I'm gonna go open live today.
Oh, you're immediately going to work?
Huh?
You're immediately going to work?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm also getting a new avatar. So it's not discount Gregory FNAF. Yeah, discount Gregory FNAF, but he actually looks my age. Yeah, no, I will get to... Oh, no, yeah, I will get to the lore shortly. But yeah, that's completely fair enough. That's why I figured I'd not use the species that it's talked about in the thumbnail. And just the starting scan screen. Because I genuinely had that as a dream, to have that as the thumbnail for some reason. I hope you like the nerd emoji. That's going to get added to the Discord server, which you can join. I think I read all the lore tablets in Prime 4 because I found the scan visor satisfying. We'll get to that. Like, I'm so glad the scan visor itself, like, returned, like, untouched, like, the same sound effects and all. But it does go quite quick. And by the end, I felt the psychic scan visor was a little annoying. I think it's just because, like, especially first time around, I made the mistake of trying to scan everything first time round. No. So, yeah, what we're gonna do, ignore the llama icon. I'm using a new music app. I used Spotify before and just ran from my local library, but Spotify was killing my PC, especially when I was streaming. So now, what we're gonna do, like, I have a new program, and it's way less intensive. Careful. Yeah, be careful. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm worrying. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so like the chat, for example, that needs to be a little adjusted. So let me adjust that to 290. I need to adjust the actual size itself. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Let me adjust that a little bit more. Snapping, which I don't want, but that's fine. Okay. An immediate thing I'm going to say about the music of Prime 4, very good. Yes, we'll get to... Lord, just bear with me. That's not cropped, I don't think. Not cropped. I literally did the thing. Okay, 20, 620. Just gonna stretch it. Yes, it is. Keep the sizes. Sorry, bear with me. Put that to 640. Yeah, that'll do. Especially for now. Okay, I hope I sound good. I hope the music sounds all good. Oh, who drew that nerd emoji? I bet he's shredded. I bet he has an 8-pack. No, he has a 17-pack. He has one big one right at the bottom. Okay, let's make this a bit bigger. Let's put it to 200. Because in testing that looked the best. But this is going to be huge. Yeah, we are just using Wikitroid. Like, I could boot up Prime 4. But it's here. It's convenient. So, yeah. Let me just check one thing. Yeah, we should be good. Okay. Let me have some water. Yeah, we've got some good ambient music as well. Okay, so let's get into this. Yeah, this will be important for the review as well. Okay. So the Lamorn lore is broken up into 2 sections. One is like the actual lore, and then like talking about like spirituality and stuff like that, more on that sort of thing. And then the second half, data logs, is more the sciencey stuff. And it sucks that this is the only lore in the game. There's no pirate lore or anything like that, but I'll go into that. Okay. The first steps. No, I don't think I should do that. Okay. The first steps to the Lamorn headed for... Here we go. You're going to see firsthand how bad I am at reading. Now, to the Lamorn headed for the Temple of Memory, gaze deeply, listen carefully, calm your mind, and take the first step here. To my Lamorn brethren, you are welcome in this sacred land, full of greenery and life. Visit the Temple of Memory, kneel at its altar, and honor all those who came before. The thoughts, wishes, and dreams of our people come together at the base of the sacred tree. We hope one day that the bounty reaches far and wide. The first slate. The sacred tree. Actually, let's put on Fury Green. Where are you? That's Great Minds. Bolt Forge. That's the upgrade. No. What one was that one? Puzzle room, okay. Sure, this one will do. Excuse me. The sacred tree. O Lamorn, graze upward and behold the sacred tree. Blessed by the Temple of Memory, a shrine that preserves and protects our memories and wisdom. From the first day we Lamorn set foot in this jungle, the sacred tree has been here. It bathes in the light breaking through the treetops, reaching high into the air, appearing to almost strain against the sky, yearning to carry the thoughts and feelings it holds ever higher. Open your heart and your mind to the sacred tree and become one with it. Hang on, who's talking to me? Okay, back to it. Okay. I've never seen this word before. The ablution? Ablution? How do we say that? Excuse me. My God. Ablution? We're going to be stuck here for a sec. Ablution. Okay. Thank you very much. Because I've never seen that word before. The ablution. Immerse your form in the sacred waters. The Temple of Memory shall then bless the purified Lamorn. To my Lamorn brethren, you are welcome within this sacred space, though you must first cleanse yourself. Collect the holy water from the spring, rain it down upon your head with both hands, and become purified. May the sacred tree be always with you. Your baptism imagery goes hard. Sacred relic. Chosen one, take the holy power in your hand. The path that you must walk lies beyond that door. Behold a sacred relic that we, the caretakers of the sacred tree, have filled with refined energy. We offer it to the Chosen One who will one day visit this place. We ask that they take it in hand and use it as they please, and to seek out the sacred symbol, the lingering afterglow of our prayers. Basically just washing yourself, but often in a religious context. Yeah, just essentially baptism, yeah. It's a really cool word. the crossing. This bridge paves the way to the Temple of Memory. Those Lamorn who follow the path... Those Lamorn who follow the path will come to the altar connecting the past and the present. Hear me, my Lamorn brethren. As you cross this bridge, reflect on the life that you have lived and consider the words that you would carry into the future. Hear me, my Lamorn brethren. As you cross this bridge, reflect on the experiences you have not yet had and consider what you wish your future to hold. The music threw me off. Just as we were the ones to create our past, so too are we the ones to forge our future. Good song, but... What is that? Yeah, this one will do. Excuse me. Vakun. I think. A stone sculpture of a Lamorn priest. It bears an inscription that transliterates to Vakun and includes a description of the individual. Of course, that's the like initial scan, not the literal lore, but we'll still read it anyway. Inventor of the moat-operated psychic lock. In accordance with the prophecy of the Chosen One, he built the shrines now hidden throughout Sol Valley, filling each with his moat-related devices. Basically, the most underrated music in the game. Yeah, I really like Prime 4's like music direction. It's very different, but it's very good. And it's still Metroid Prime. Lekash, I think. Stone sculpture of a Lamorn priest. It bears an inscription that transliterates to Lekash and includes a description of the individual. A sculptor who loved solving mathematical equations, he discovered several equations that could be formed into psychic objects, leading to the design of a unique sealing mechanism as well as its keys. You know, I never, like, put together that these scans were talking about, you know, the individuals. I don't know how. I'm a bit stupid. Shay. A stone sculpture of a Lamorn priest. It bears an inscription that transliterates to Shay and includes a description of the individual. The only female member of the Lamorn priesthood and the first to understand the structure of space and time. Her insight led to a method of moving across space-time and, in turn, the invention of the teleporter. Lekash sounds like a nerd, yeah. Thessar. A stone sculpture of a Lamorn priest. It bears an inscription that transliterates to Thessar and includes a description of the individual. Thessar, the first priest who communed with the sacred tree and founded the Temple of Memory. He is said to have been gifted at conveying thoughts without the need to speak and at understanding others without the need to hear them. Just a straight-up telepath. That's cool. Were these the dialogues? No. Okay. Sacred Testament. Chosen One. Seek the depths to ascend the stars. Prove your worthiness. Hello, Josandras. Been a little bit. Oh, excuse me. If you truly are the Chosen One who has claimed the sacred relic, prove yourself and climb our path along the ice wall. Only the one with the strength to crawl from the bottom of the earth and reach its top will have earned our faith. Hello, Ark. Yeah, it's been a little bit. Hey, it is. Hello, Ghost. Yeah, we're just reading through the lore of Prime 4, and we're just getting to the Ice Belt scans. And so we will change to wherever they are. I need to number these. This sounds like the chamber for the Omega Pirate. That's cool. Let's see the rig back up so you can stream again. Yeah, it's the old one. Like I said earlier in the stream, I tried to upgrade it. Parenthesis, like, keyword tried. I'm sure you saw the whole fiasco. But yeah, this is generally just a test. And to get the lore of the game in my head for the Prime 4 review, and to have this as, like, a reference for it, sort of thing. Excuse me. Yeah, again, I hope all the, like, sound is fine. I hope I sound fine, the music sounds fine. If it's too loud, you know. Okay, so this is the Ice Belt Research Diaries. Endeavor. I used to call that Endeavour because I'm silly. Okay. Endeavor. Accessing encrypted file, Research Diary, Day 1, Endeavor, data downloaded to logbook. So far so good? Okay, hell yeah. Okay. LMH 2006-2001-026. My name is Targun. Targun? I'm going to say that. My name is Targun. And I am a researcher at this facility. I am writing this to have a record of my experiments. When the Great Tragedy occurred, many fled the danger within the research center. However, at the guidance of Priest Chatoya, a few of us stayed in order to perform analysis of and experiments on Griever anatomy. Our hope is to reverse the transformation by administering a solution of processed green energy to subjects brought to the facility. I want to believe we can succeed. I'm going to lower this a little bit. Okay. For all the flack Prime 4 gets, I do actually quite like the lore in the game. I will get to that. Gifts. Okay, it says different days. Accessing encrypted file, Research Diary, Day 21. Gifts. Data downloaded to logbook. LMH 2006-2001-047. Priest Chatoya wants to install something in this room. Apparently, it will be a gift to the one who will become our savior at some point in the future. But do we not need a savior right now? If our efforts are not the priority, then do the Lamorn have a future? All we can do right now is continue the experiments and believe that we will see results. I pray for the day when I can leave this dark, freezing lab and walk under the sun again. And in queue. Security. Accessing encrypted file, Research Diary, Day 39, Security. Data downloaded to logbook. LMH 2006-2001-065. Cryopods containing subjects are arriving at the lab almost daily. The pods put them into cold hibernation and maintain minimal life functions. Operation of the cooling equipment has been deemed absolutely essential, so the system has been designed to continue functioning even if the entire facility were to fall into low power mode. Similarly, thorough inspection and repair of cryopods is one of our highest priority tasks. Yeah, I will go, probably at the end of this, go more into the scrutiny I have with the lore. But definitely in the Prime 4 video, that is going to be huge. Anxiety. God me. Accessing encrypted file, Research Diary, Day 57, Anxiety, data downloaded to logbook. LMH 2006-2001-083. Green energy dosage results show no significant benefits at this time. Essentially, a rapid increase in cellular proliferation speed and a doubling of the number of cells increases growth and affects vitality. But why has this vector taken such an abnormal turn, and what can be done to shift it back to its original direction? Our time is limited, and I'm worried about our remaining stockpiles. So it's not looking good. Awakening. Is there also 81? No, it's not. Accessing encrypted file, Research Diary, Day 81, Awakening, data downloaded to logbook, LMH 2006-2001-107. The subject is in hibernation in the cryopod, and its metabolism is at minimum levels. Unfortunately, we are unable to perform the experiments we'd like. Unfortunately, we are unable to perform the experiments we'd like with the subject in this state. If the subject's metabolic function is inactive, a reversal of its rapid cellular proliferation cannot occur. First, we must wake the subject and restore its normal metabolic function. Jesus. This also means restoring consciousness. This also means restoration of consciousness, so appropriate sedation will be crucial. This is what recording is like for me. Like half of my narration file is either mistakes or silence, which is normal, funnily enough, especially if you're kind of a novice. Analysis. Accessing encrypted file, research diary, day 97, analysis, data downloaded to logbook, LMH 2006-2001-123. We are monitoring subjects who have had GE administered here. Excuse me. Regardless of GE concentration, there do not appear to be any significant differences. We see regeneration without an apparent mutation to alter the cells. Furthermore, no matter how deep our analysis, we have yet to see any apparent chromosome abnormalities. It is almost as if they are natural creatures. Put another way, if we were to judge based on DNA, there are no significant differences between them and us. What is going on? Ooh. Well, this is a big one. Breakthrough. Accessing encrypted file, research diary, day 117, breakthrough. Such a good song. Yo! Data downloaded to logbook, LMH 2006-2001-143. We may have had a breakthrough today. Until now, we presumed that the physical transformation was triggered by something in the crystals causing compositional change in the GE, which would in turn cause an abnormality in gene transcription. Yet that is not the case. In actuality, an unused region of the brain linked with the crystals is stimulated and, as a result, genes that would normally have stayed pseudogenes. Genes that would normally have stayed pseudogenes were transcribed. I now wonder, are we unlocking a blocked evolutionary path? That would mean the Great Tragedy was merely one possible evolution of one potential future. So with that in mind, what would happen if, when administering GE, we disabled those genes at the moment that the rapid cellular proliferation is triggered? There should be sufficient value in attempting this to justify altering the Balsali system's There should be sufficient value in attempting this to justify altering the Balsali, I think, systems programming. Like, reading goes so well, and then you're thrown through a loop when a word that isn't like anything you've seen before is introduced. Balsali? Balsali? I'm not sure. Attempt. Accessing encrypted file, research diary day 138, attempt. Data downloaded to logbook. I can't read, so GG's. LMH 2006-2001-164. We were so close. It seemed like we had a lot of that happens as well. We were so close. It seemed like we had succeeded in disabling the problematic genes and also resetting the cells, causing the rapid proliferation process to replicate normal genetic information and restore the state. However, for some reason, we were unable to stabilize it. The subjects reverted. Right now, I want to check over the genetic analysis to see if there were any problems in our process. I do not want this setback to have been for nothing. The last pronunciation makes sense? Okay. Balsali. 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 All's ally. I am 7. Limit. Accessing encrypted file, research diary day 205, limit data downloaded to logbook, LMH 2006-2001-231. Since the lab experiments began, several subjects have been brought in. Since the lab experiments began, several subjects have been brought in each day. The lab is close to capacity, and tragically, countless brethren have lost their lives while securing these subjects. I think we should stop gathering subjects, if only because our restoration subjects have thus far been unsuccessful. Resignation. Accessing encrypted file, research diary day 214, resignation data downloaded to logbook, LMH 2006-2001-240. Our resources are running very low. Resources are running very low, and we are almost out of the chemicals needed for research and experiments. At the same time, progress remains at a standstill. Naturally, there is a rising sense of panic and resignation. We cannot hope for more chemicals to arrive, and if we use up what we have before the experiment succeeds, no, even if it succeeds, and with what we have left, and we are losing researchers. I think I delivered that very poorly. Everyone is likely thinking the same thing. Records. Accessing encrypted file, research diary day 289, records, data downloaded to logbook, LMH 2006-2001-315. There is little more we can do. Every experiment has ended in failure, and the results remain unchanged. If we put the facility into low power mode, it should remain intact for as long as there are maintenance tanks to look over it. We can leave behind our records, but will anyone ever see them? And if so, will they succeed where we could not? No, this is not the time for doubt. We must do everything we can. Query. Accessing encrypted file, research diary day 293, query, data downloaded to logbook, LMH 2006-2001-319. We have finally reached the end of our resources. Tomorrow we will abandon this lab and, at Chitoya's instruction, move to Chrono Tower, built in Soul Valley. We will not be able to save our brethren. Why could we not find a way to stabilize the Griever cells when they reverted to their Lamorn counterparts? What did we miss? I will ponder this for the rest of my life. Hello, it's going good. The stream hasn't exploded. And like this is overall like a test to see if the stream's functioning and stuff like that. Get my settings all sorted, and it's been fine. I hope one day we get a remake for Metroid Prime 4. I hate to be that guy, but it was so disappointing. We don't need a remake of Metroid Prime 4 ever. Not because of, like, no, there's a certain threshold. Like, I feel like we're having too many remakes as is. But, like, there's a certain limit, I feel like. From a certain point onwards, you don't need to remake the game. Just make it accessible. Really, just make the games accessible anyway. But, yeah, I will get to my feelings about Prime 4. They're complicated. But probably at the end of this, I will go over the lore specifically. As in, how I feel about it. Prayer. Accessing encrypted file, research diary day 294, prayer. Data downloaded to logbook, LMH 2006-2001-310. Just now, the main generator has stopped. This means that the boiler we use for heat will also stop, the temperature will drop, and I expect the facility will be frozen solid. The area will switch to low power mode, which uses wind energy. This should be enough to maintain operation of the cryopods in which our brethren sleep. I believe we have done everything we could here, but ultimately we could not save our kind. I am overwhelmed with helplessness. I trust the words of Chitoya that someday our savior will appear. All I can do right now is pray. I am Targon, and I am utterly defeated. That's a cool one. I like that one. Alright, and now we're at the Flare Pool one. I mean, more of a reimagination, I think. If they're not going to reimagine Other M, they're not going to reimagine Prime 4. But, yeah, I don't think Prime 4 needs anything like that. It just needs to be available to play. Like, that's the thing. I feel like serviceable is also rating it too low. What I would like, though, is some more of the contentious elements of Prime 4 to be recontextualized in Prime 4 or other media, canon media. Yeah, it feels very much its own thing right now. It needs to get expanded on, sort of thing. If it's entirely ignored, it will feel weirdly disconnected and kind of pointless in a way. And then there's also the thing of, even if it does continue, it still kind of feels weird. But again, I'll properly go into it later. Okay, let's get the... Not Soul Valley. Chrono Tower. Yes, there we go, that'll do. Story elements, I mean. Oh, right, yeah, I get you. Yeah, Me Too is just not as good as we thought. That's the thing. It's good. But, and that's, as a TLDR, that's it for me. But there is so much to say. It is, at the very least, really interesting in terms of, like, my experience with it. Okay. Delivery status. Accessing encrypted file. Work report. Delivery status. Data downloaded to logbook. LMH 2006-2009-97. Preparations for the next green energy shower are proceeding according to plan. The majority of the precious fuel mined from the oil fields is being delivered to this facility. Excuse me. And the workers are diligently going about their tasks with a sense of nervous satisfaction. As this will be the first shower diffusion since the crystals were distributed, all Lamorn are focused on the results. Failure will not be tolerated. We will succeed. We have failed. You know, we can have a Metroid Prime game without it being numbered like Prime Hunters. I feel like Beyond should have been that. Like, it shouldn't have been Metroid Prime 4, but I feel like that's important to the marketing. Like, the sentence, I've played Metroid Prime 4, still feels wild, in the sense that I've played Metroid Dread. But for all intents and purposes, I do feel like the 4 should have been dropped. Is there a delay? Have I been... Nope, we've not dropped frames at all. We are all good. Extraction process. Accessing encrypted file, work report, extraction process, data downloaded to logbook. Okay, I'm probably going to skip those temporary scans because they're just repeating the name. LMH 2006, 2009, 98. Lava temperature regulation is nominal. Pressure of inhalation pipes is normal. GE filter status is good. Purity of extracted GE is over 99%. Pressure of delivery pipes is normal. All energy extraction systems are functioning normally. Injection process. LMH 2006, 2009, 99. Excuse me. GE is being injected into the larger cannon shells without issue. In preparation for the GE shower tomorrow, so far, shower results have not been what we expected due to issues with GE purity and quantity. This time, we must succeed. Soul Valley must be returned to a land of abundance. Tomorrow will be a new day for the Lamorn. Injection 83% complete, increasing compression ratio. I think that's fair. It's good, but we expected amazing. There are amazing things. There's also a but at the end of it, though. It's the most back and forth I have been with a game ever. Like, I like it. Oh my god, excuse me, one sec. Okay. It's... No, I'm going to refrain from actually talking about my feelings about the game until the video. Facility shut down. Amazing, guys. LMH 2006, 2001, 007. A container is being built at the instruction of Priest Chitoya. Oh, you can't see. Oh, no, you can. Never mind. Why was that not there? A container is being built at the instruction of Priest Chitoya. Once complete, all work is to stop, and all workers are to retreat to Chrono Tower. I never imagined things would go this bad. To think that all the work we did, how we gave everything we had for the future of the Lamorn, only served to manifest our ruin. Even so, I choose to trust the words of Chitoya, to believe that someday a savior will come. Okay, and that's it. So that's the first complaint that we can go over with the lore. That's it. It's just Lamorn. I would have liked a little bit, or a bit more of it. And I would have liked some pirate logs. It's the first numbered Prime game without pirate logs. Even Federation stuff. I could see if there is more lore. I don't think there is, though. There's the base camp conversations, but that's about it. Oh, and there's so much here, actually. God. Okay, that's just a lot of it is unused ones. So, yeah, so that's kind of it. Which sucks, because, like, a couple of these are pretty good. Like, I quite liked the... I liked Prayer a lot. Like, that was a good one. But yeah, I would like more. And especially, like I said, from the perspective of Space Pirates or the Federation. Overall, I feel like the lore is quite lacking. Because like, there's not much to it. Now, the actual story it's telling, maybe you guys should have stopped using the green energy. Like, right, I get the idea. You were trying to reverse what happened. You were trying to bring life back to Soul Valley, and you had, talking to the Lamorn now, you had the best of intentions. But it just failed again and again and again. The signs were all there to stop using it. Like, it feels... It comes off as stupid. As, like, irresponsible and desperate. Because, like... And that's partially the point. It's like, yeah, they're desperate. But when it's screaming in your face for ages that it's not working, you have to try something else. Because, like, using the green energy is just making things worse. Let's use more green energy. Oh, hey, it's ThatMetroidGuy. It is. Hello there. The lack of space pirates in this game is criminal, especially considering this game's post-super. There's a lot to unpack with the current state of space pirates. Yes. That. Oh, I'm gonna be unhinged when I actually talk about the game's story in the video. So yeah, like, a couple good scans here. It feels... So the Lamorn, in terms of their lore, as far as a comparison that I can make, they're a combination of the Chozo and the Space Pirates. But with a hint of, like, desperation. They have, like I said, best of intentions, but repeatedly, it just doesn't work out, even in the best case scenario. Maybe there's just a fundamental issue with the green energy. And so in the game's story, it shows the Lamorn. There are two types of Lamorn. Ones that can use psychic powers and ones that can't. So what the Lamorn do, they artificially give the Lamorn that can't use psychic powers these psychic powers. That's what turns them into the Grievers, if I'm remembering that right. I'm always going to add that disclaimer. I think that is how it goes. But, like, immediately, maybe we should not do that. Like, surely the first mutation of it, because it was instant. Because it, as far as I understand, that's what the Great Tragedy was. Great Tragedy. Oh, it's a stub. Come on, guys. Like, I've done a few things for Wikitroid. There are a bunch of good people that do a lot of hard work. Game's been out for half a year now. Great Tragedy was an event in Lamorn history. It was when certain Lamorn began to mutate due to their psychic crystals reacting to the green showers, turning them into Grievers. Okay, so I did misunderstand that part. Psychic crystal. A mysterious crystal found in the Lamorn's holy ground in an alternate dimension. Well, that kind of says it right there. So, little context. My server, there was a big discussion on whether the ending of the game, or the game overall, takes place in either another galaxy or another dimension. I was always, like, fairly certain on the mindset that it's in another dimension, because of the visual of the Master Teleporter at the end of the game. This just straight up says it. I missed that. It is a gift bequeathed only to the Chosen One. Equipping the Psychic Crystal grants psychic abilities. The fun thing is, when you get it, releases the latent psychic powers residing within you. Samus had this all along? Like, that's wild. Like, we're just going to gloss over that. Because I know she's spiritually inclined and is very strong mentally, emotionally, physically, and all that. But psychically? That's new. Like, it's cool, but that's new. You just throw that at us. Let me scroll up a little bit. I'm trying to remember. Didn't the Lamorn stop pumping green energy when it started causing adverse mutations in the non-psychic Lamorn? because they did shut down the Magdrada facility. Yeah, it's like, but that was after the experiments. Like that's partially why I read out the log like numbers, because I can only imagine this is like a date. Why you scrolled up? Yeah, I can only imagine this is some kind of date, and this is 2006, 2001. Down here, where is it? 2006, 2009. I'm going to assume that's after. Now, it could be like a BC thing where the higher number is further back in time, but I don't think so. Oh, no, actually. I literally just read it, and I'm like, well, this happens first, and then Calamity. And then they're doing experiments, and there's already a bunch of Lamorn. Grievers, rather. You could call me out on that and correct me. Make sure I don't misunderstand. Gonna be honest, considering Vuros is in another dimension, GE might have actually been there parallel to Phazon. They even had a meteor that hit long ago and poisoned the land. Clap. Yes, that is what I've been thinking. Like, since I scanned Calyrex? No, that's a Pokemon. Carvex? Carvex. Yeah, Carvex, that's what I'm thinking. It's scan in the Sanctum, that's it. In the distant past, actually I'm gonna do this. We're gonna full screen this. Carvex. Sanctum of the Guardian scan. In the distant past, a mass of burning rock fell from the sky to the jungles of Vuros. Once this rock, which it was itself poisoned, had cooled and hardened, a small carnivorous plant took in the poison it carried. The plant did not succumb to the poison, it thrived, growing to rule over the jungle. In time, the priest Thessar became the first the plant could convey its thoughts to, and named it Carvex. Later, at their urging, Carvex eventually relocated to the garden within the Lamorn Temple of Memory. There it ruled as it did in the jungles, and it came to preside over Lamorn funerals. This is the Leviathan. Because we know Leviathans go through wormholes. And it's very speculated that they can be multi-dimensional. Like, they rip through space-time, they can get you from one point in space to another relatively quickly, but they can also be portals to other dimensions. And that's what it seems like they've gone with. This is the only time a Leviathan is mentioned, and is kind of the only actual connection to the rest of the series. So, in a way, Metroid Prime still has something to do with it. Yeah. No, we're reaching. But no, I 100% believe this is a Leviathan. Just straight up. And it feels like it's a carbon copy of the old Flagra scans from Prime 1. Like, more deliberately saying the... and is it the old Flagra scans, or is it just straight up Flagra? One or the other. Where the Leviathan corrupts a plant and becomes the boss of the area. And so it looks like, because this is in another dimension, Phazon mutated and became green energy. And instead became more, like, hardened. And, like, when you see it throughout the game, yeah, I can kind of see it. Like, especially in Flare Pool, where there's liquid green energy. It looks like liquid Phazon. And probably the atmospheric conditions made it so it can't be gaseous, or, like, made it so vapor, like Phazon vapor doesn't happen as much. I should be reading the chat a bit more. Let me see. Green energy rain. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's tricky. Because, like, from the Lamorn's perspective, this substance has made these abominations. Let's use this substance, like, albeit to try and reverse it, but it just made things worse. I don't know, Phazon is a substance that seeks to spread and perpetuate itself. Green energy seems more neutral and has no consciousness of its own. Hence the parallel and not just recolored. I should probably have been looking at this the entire time. As a plot device, there is definitely some narrative DNA carryover. Samus always had traces of psychic ESP abilities, especially after Other M's sense move. I thought that was just like a cool move and not a literal like visualization of like a psychic ability. It's more of a like sixth sense. Maybe the Lamorns are stuck in Vuros as Grievers. Reaching a lot. Phazon but green and mutating. It's interesting that Carvex ended up being intelligent and docile though. Phazon does mutate stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like Phazon, like, hear me out. Leviathan crashes, goes through a wormhole, travels through an alternate dimension. Maybe at the same time, Lamorn are trying to reach out and connect with the Chosen One, so maybe that's how it ended up there. Like literal wires got crossed, sort of thing. And so Leviathan ended up crashing onto Vuros, but because of the nature of that dimension, the properties of Phazon got messed up and got changed and became more dormant as a result, especially because it's cut off from the rest of Phazon. And that would kind of explain how it's still around if it was Phazon, became something else, and wouldn't get destroyed from Phase. That would be an explanation, I think. Yeah. And then it still has the properties of mutating stuff and interacting with biological life. According to the Famitsu interview, Samus was sent to another dimension. So what if this dimension doesn't have Phazon, but something else? Instead of blue, it was green Phazon. That's essentially what I'm thinking. Like I said, like down here, a Leviathan crashed on Vuros. Like, it's describing a Leviathan in all but name. Of course, they're leaving it vague enough to where if they don't want to go in that direction, they can choose not to. But I think at this current time, a Leviathan crashed on Vuros, the Phazon within it mutated, and became green energy. I don't think green energy was shown to mutate anything when the Lamorn started showering their planet with the stuff, though. I mean, it mutates the Grievers and the wildlife in the rain, like the showers, when they fire the cannon and stuff. And when interacting with the Lamorn that had the psychic abilities like artificially put in, that was when they started freaking out. And in a way, like, the Lamorn using it and messing with it upset the balance, sort of thing. Like, we don't know when this would have been. At least the Leviathan crashing. I'm just referring to it as the Leviathan. We don't know when that happened. It could have been so long ago that it's a part of the ecosystem of Vuros, and the world found balance and stuff. But when the Lamorn start tapping into it, that's when things start going squiff. Oh, excuse me. There's still... hang on. I suppose you could think of it like kryptonite. Green kryptonite harms Kryptonians, but the blue kind nullifies Kryptonian abilities, except in Metroid it's reversed. You could do that, yeah, essentially. There's still things about Metroid Prime 4 still beyond us, like the creators were out of ideas. I don't think so. I really don't think they were out of ideas. I feel like they couldn't do a lot of their ideas. One, because Nintendo. I think that a lot of people haven't really acknowledged the open world aspects were a requirement from Nintendo. From several interviews, like, excuse me, I'm now salivating. Multiple devs have spoken about how, and I think from that Famitsu article as well, how the devs even said the open world, like, logic, and I say open world, it's areas connected to an open hub. Like I said, how it was during the lead up, it's structured like Ocarina of Time. I was going to say like Ocarina of Time. It is structured like Ocarina, like it is structured akin to Ocarina of Time. Soul Valley, huge Hyrule field. The areas on the sides, they're the dungeons, with keys at the end. It's a Zelda game. And yet the devs said open world isn't going to work for Metroid. They did what they could, but the open world was a requirement. And like, it's fine to experiment. Like, I support the idea of them experimenting with it. I'm glad they tried it. It doesn't work. Unfortunately. At least, not the way they did it. But I feel like that's the only way they could have done it. Because there's no way they were going to restart the game again. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was, like, quite a bit of crunch. Yeah, so, like, no, the devs certainly had ideas, but I feel like they couldn't act on them. Sounds like Metroid Prime 2. It kind of does, yeah. Actually, let me scroll up. There's more. They only saw it revitalized Virus's ecosystem, which was already dying in part to the Lamorn stripping the planet of its resources during the machine era. I should look at those as well. Hang on, let me... Because the worst part is I don't think there's much in the way of, like, the lore or scans like that would be here that go over the machine era and stuff. Submachine gun. Yeah. Come on, Wikitroid. Like, it's a period in one history succeeding the ancient era and preceding the psychic era. Let's see if the errors are jotted down. No, they are not, like, at all. Because I don't think there's actually that much to put on there. Yeah, it sucks. Sounds like Prime 2, it kind of does. The native life and Grievers got stronger and more aggressive. And what about the Grievers of the Great Mines? I think they were mutated because they were closer to where the green energy comes from. At least because as far as I can tell, that's what the mines were for, to get the green energy. I could be wrong. Like, it could have also been for the machine era. Let me see. Great Mines. Very good area, by the way. I really like Great Mines. To the Virus Crystal. Okay, so that was for the psychic abilities, specifically. Just a lot of rad pages. Okay, so this was the area that sparked the change from machine error to psychic error. Okay. See, this is why this stream is kind of important. I need to reconnect to the like actual story of the game, so I can get a better basis. Because I'll be honest, like on my replays of Prime 4, I've just been playing it. I haven't actually been paying full attention to the story apart from like the first time. Like, that's bad of me, but still. This is why we're here. I could be mistaken, but I don't think the first GE shower causes the non-Griever critters to become hostile. So what were they called? Soul Valley. That's not what they're called. Enemies are here. Scats. There's a certain bug here that is definitely like not Lamorn. It becomes more gullybats? Why is that translating? Huh. What hang on, why is that translating? Shren, I think is what it is. Shren. Yes, the Shrens. What's the gullbat? Oh yeah, but all of these, they become more hostile after the first shower as well. And you can tell because they're a bit greener. Same with the Grievers. Yeah, Shrens bugs, gullbats birds, yeah. Let me see. I have to cool down my phone for a moment. God, yeah, I felt that. The first shower we see in-game, I mean, I think it's possible that said aggression only occurs once the wildlife receives a high enough dose of green energy. So yeah, they do get more aggressive at the first one. And with the next one is also when they get more aggressive and tankier and do more damage. If I recall, it was in part because the upper execs refused to abandon what Bandai Namco had already made it. Oh, really? That's news to me. I still don't know if we know Bandai Namco is who made it, but I feel like it's common. I say common knowledge, but like that's the common belief. Oh, back in YouTube? Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do in terms of stuff like that, I'm gonna keep Metroid stuff specifically to YouTube. And streaming on YouTube. Anything else will be on Twitch. So I want to do Metroidvania Mondays again, because they were really fun. And I have a lot of Metroidvanias to play through. I want to play more Metroidvanias. And I feel like that would be better on Twitch. And just have ThatMetroidGuy YouTube as Metroid stuff. Because I've even like dabbled with changing my name on Twitch, but I feel like ThatMetroidGuy is just who I am, you know. It would feel weird saying another name. I'll have a new avatar and I'll develop him as like a character and stuff. Yeah. But that's the thing, I'm going back and forth on it, so we will see. The scan for the... Oh, I hope the ads haven't been horrible this stream. I've intentionally, like, tried to make it not disruptive. The scan for green energy crystal says contains large amounts of teratogens, which can interfere with cellular growth. Which does sound like Phazon. Like, Phazon does the exact same thing. Oh my god, not even this. Oh, they even have it as listed. Green energy is similar to Phazon from the first 3 Metroid Prime games, as both are mysterious substances which act as an alternate energy source, but also had a hand in the collapse of civilizations on the planets they are found on. It is uncannily similar. Like, that's the thing with the lore and the story of Prime 4, at least when it comes to the Lamorn. It feels very much like the NTSC version of Metroid Prime. Because from PAL onwards, the lore was completely changed to what it is now. And I am going to point this out in the video as well. Well, I already have. It's cool that they're reusing the idea in quotes and recontextualizing it. But I don't mind that at all. It's kind of cool. Right, Wikitroid. Get on the pages. Like, your... is the... Yeah, like the featured article, that's been clear for ages. I know it's volunteer stuff. Like, I'm just whinging. Yeah, let's not take it too seriously. Yeah, basically the machine era was Lamorn's industrial period, and once they realized it was killing their planet, they transitioned to psychic-powered tech. And gave crystals to non-psychic Lamorn so they would not be left behind. And that would be the downfall. The mines were for the crystals, so it was diving into the GE. Don't snap back down. I find teratogen interesting because I think I'm saying that right. Teratogen. Interesting because it's probably using the Greek words terras, meaning monster, and the suffix gen, referring to production. Think like oxygen, that the crystals create monsters. That line goes hard. The crystals create monsters. Who's the Pokemon? The Shrens of the... Yeah. Yeah, won't have to deal with 5-minute ads for Metro stuff. The fact that ads are being insanely long is ridiculous. I do have a suggestion. If Phazon wasn't destroyed, green energy would probably be Phazon. Probably, yeah. It's so identical, you could just swap them out. I feel like green energy is being done in lieu of Phazon, and being given a connection, which is then sheared so that it can be its own thing. Okay, so I was mistaken. Still, we don't know how many showers had occurred prior to Samus's arrival. Maybe that aggression only emerged after, like, the 2000th dose. I don't think so. Because, I think there are 2 or 3 showers in the game. They get more aggressive with each one, and you see the changes. So I feel like there was 1 before, maybe 2, and it went tits up. I think there was only 1. It went tits up, made everything worse, and then they stopped. I might have to come out of retirement. Maybe the show was only restarted after Silex got involved. That is also likely. Yeah, like, Silex could have had more of a hand in things than we realize. And I wish the game showed it a bit more. But I think we can assume there were showers after every time Samus cleared the dungeon. There were more green crystals after every dungeon. Yes, that is true. I think it is safe to say then. Teratogen. Okay. Yeah, safe to say there was a shower at every after every dungeon. I think beforehand there was only 1. At a push, 2. I'm pretty sure the intent was that Silex reactivated the GE rain cannon. Yes. Bastard was directly plugged into the whole system from Chrono Tower. Seems like he seems to have hijacked most of the Lamorn systems. Which begs the question, how? How was Silex able to? Now this is where I'm going to be a bit, like, tap on nosy sort of thing. I feel like Samus and Silex are more alike than is being shown. Like, I will go over his backstory, and do a follow-up to my very first Metroid video, talking about, like, the Silex theory, the psychopaths. Like, that's the thing. Where did he get it from? Because, like, it can't be a thing of, like, oh, everyone has latent psychic powers, because then suddenly Samus herself isn't unique when she is. So, what I've seen, like, theorized, we have just ended up talking about just the game. And I just realized I drew the thumbnail's hand backwards because it was 6 a.m. I'm going to blow myself up. No, it's okay. It's completely fine. I've seen, like, theories thrown around that the Lamorn mistook Silex as the Chosen One. I don't know if, like, that actually holds any water. But that is a theory I have seen thrown around. And it would kind of make sense, like, to me anyway, like, the tech is fairly similar, like, if not. So, in a way, I could just say, like, oh, Samus is a true Lamorn, whereas Silex is a Griever. Artificial psychic abilities, a corrupt version of Samus, essentially, which he kind of is. It's likely, actually, you know what? I found it interesting that in spite of having a psychic crystal of her own, Samus's biology wasn't changed. I'm sick of Metro games not doing that. I want Samus herself to change. Like, what do you mean Samus, like, going through surgery, she's unchanged? What do you mean Samus literally having her third eye open doesn't change anything about her facial structure? What do you mean Samus turning into a Metroid doesn't change her appearance? Only her suit. Silex is Anakin, Samus is Luke. Almost perfectly. I would say so. Only, like, the rage, like, for him and the selfishness was more immediate. Whereas Anakin was more, like, slowly manipulated and groomed into being Darth Vader. So-called artist who have never seen hands in his life anyway. Hi, chat, yeah. Yeah, that's why I say almost perfectly. It's like, in layman's terms, you could say that. It's not quite, but you could think of it like that. Yeah, it's likely he was latent because he heard Goria's message in Hunters. I don't think so, because even the Galactic Federation received it. So, and it's not really specified who or what. And as far as we can tell, Samus didn't get the message. She heard it from the Federation. That's why she went. It was more Goria speaking to, and just generally, and Samus, for whatever reason, wasn't the one to actually get it. Strange thing is, I don't think the Lamorn ever note that the wildlife exhibited increased aggression after they first showered the planet. In GE, could be wrong. I don't know, because a lot of the scans, like, they're not going to be here. If the green energy scan isn't going to be here, a lot of those scans aren't going to be here. Even the lore, like, page wasn't finished. I'm just glad it had the scans there. Yeah. Let me scroll back up. No, Samus will look like a generic blonde 20-something supermodel and you will like it. Damn! She could be so much more interesting, physically. Can't have anything cool in her design. Yeah, like, really, there's been 2 times that we've somehow gone onto Samus herself. There have been 2 times Samus herself has had good design. One, Super Metroid. That reflects her character really well. It makes sense within the time frame. Her build looks right, at least in-game. She looks good. She even has her hair done up to make sense to fit within the helmet. The other is Zero Mission. Now, while the design itself could be a little bit it serves a very important purpose. Her figure, the color theory and stuff like that, her mechanics, polar opposite to the rest of the game. And it's, like, redundant in how much it's conveying. This section of the game is different to what you've played. And it's like, that is good. I like that. It's... No other time has it been good. The thing about the Chosen One is that Chitoya even admits he doesn't know what the Chosen One will look like, or something like that. It's from one of the scans of the Lamorn. Yeah, like, they never... That's the difference with the Lamorn lore and the Old Chozo lore. The Old Chozo lore refers Samus almost by name. Like, they see that she wears Chozo armor, they see that she's a woman, and whereas with this, it's more, there is someone, and that's kind of it. And I would have wagered that, like, Sylix is close enough and could interact with their tech to make it so that he could be misinterpreted as the Chosen One. And then when Samus comes along, that's when it's like, oh no, she's the actual one. Because she's actually, you know, helping. Hello chat, I just woke up from my afternoon nap. How are things going? We finished reading the Lamorn lore scans a while ago. We're now just talking about random, like, lore pieces and Samus's design. Sylix was just an asshole. Anakin was traumatized by a lifetime of BS. That is true. Yes, Alex had one bad day, Anakin had a bad life. The Gory message was very inconsistent in how it worked, to be fair. If anything, Samus is Anakin when Qui-Gon didn't die. Yeah. It's, like, the good path that Anakin could have had. Like, from what I understood about Goria's message, it was kind of just random and thrown out there, and people either heard it or they didn't. Samus didn't, so I feel like that's not actually related to the psychic abilities that she has, like, dormant and stuff. And the fact that the Federation got it, and I think it's safe to say they don't have any psychic abilities at all, says to me that, like, that was just kind of random and dispersed. So it was kind of chance that these hunters were the ones to get it. I've seen some people really like Zero Suit's butt in Zero Mission. Yes, I have seen the developer notes as well on that. Ugh. Listen. I like a good butt. But the one that Samus has doesn't... like, for the build she has, it's not great. Like, it's just there for appeal. That's why I point out in Dread, like my reviews for the Dread suits, Samus having a big butt is actually pretty good. Because she's very physically active in that game. She runs, she jumps, she sprints. She's very acrobatic in that game. And, you know, having a larger butt adds to that. But if, you know, it's... I wish she had a better design. Like, her suit's fantastic. Samus herself, almost always a miss. Like, yeah, it's iconic, but it's boring. The cutscenes sure loved showing it. Yeah, they did. The old Chozo lore does explicitly name Samus, does it? Okay. It shows my familiarity with it. That's the thing, I never got that lore. Sonic gaining elemental powers, black holes and interdimensional travel was a weird thing. Yes. Like, I feel like that's because he's, like, physically connected to the Master Teleporter and infused that technology with his own suit. So in that sense, I feel like I can forgive it. It's cool as hell as well. But I feel like it's too vague. Even though you literally see him connected to Lamorn tech. I know that's here. I even had a little browse on here the other day. And I didn't see Samus's name mentioned. Hello. Giving attention to the kitty. Live 2D scary? Oh, is that what you were saying?
Huh?
Is that what you were saying in Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mouth ring is fucking tempting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I haven't, like, fiddled with it like I did before, so it's completely default now.
Feel awful. It's not good. So I'm determined to make it. The rest of it might look like shit, but if the mouth ringing,
yeah,
you're getting nothing but mouth ringing.
I'm just gonna.
You're going to...
At least there's gonna be immaculate lip sync. Yeah. We all know why the butt is designed the way it is, unfortunately. Yeah, it's annoying. And I'm not saying... Because that's the thing a lot of people, especially in my redesign video, people were just assuming I wanted to make her ugly or make her a man, which is not at all what I did. And, like, hair-wise, I use the hair she has in Other M. No one has said she's a man in that game. Like, build-wise, she's just muscular and athletic and looks like she could throw hands. That doesn't make her a man. It's just wild. Yeah, a mention of him getting psychic powers in his scan would have been nice. Let's see what his scans do say in that. Because he does have an interesting scan, which throws a loop into everything. And it's like, right, where was this then? Okay, I'm gonna full screen this. Actually, I'm gonna make it 200% first. That's probably gonna mess with it a little bit. Too far. Okay. Metroid Prime 4 Silex. He does look sick as hell. Like, look at him. Let me read the chat first. It would have been nice. Silex went from 2 meters tall in Hunters to 2.7 and beyond. What the fuck did he eat prior to Tanamar to go Custodes mode. Just the theory, but what if he's done some genetic experimentation on himself? Hitmaker and man, what are those weirdos talking about? I have no clue. What do you mean throwing a loop into everything? Right. So, let's read the scan.
Huh? Throwing a spanner in.
That is true, yeah. I'm combining sayings. Like throwing a wrench into everything. Or throwing a spanner into everything. What the that's the meanest thing you've ever said. He called me a spanner. Muscular women don't exist and have short hair. Quote from someone who hasn't seen a woman in his male pronoun wanted whole life. The funny thing is, I used a bunch of references of, you know, athletes for that video and for that design. Like, I didn't just make them up. Okay, let's read the Silex scan. Human morphology, I always knew. Silex, a bounty hunter using a modified version of a Galactic Federation battlesuit reconstructed using the latest nanotechnology. Reconstructed. And of course it's nanomachines. I'm sick of it. But of course Silex himself has gone through a growth spurt. Silex is a bounty hunter with a personal grudge against the Galactic Federation and Samus Aran. Plotting revenge on both, he has been running a long campaign of covert operations, including spying on Samus. In the cosmic year of 2000X6, or 20X6, he successfully stole a Metroid from a Galactic Federation base. That is the Metroid at the end of Federation Force. By raising clones of this Metroid, and fusing them with other life forms, he found a method of controlling minds and soon formed a private army. With this, he took control of the leadership of the space pirates, seizing their army as well. He then began attacking Galactic Federation research facilities one after another, and in the process used the information and technology he gathered to upgrade his suit and weapons. So that's where his newer suit is from. At least there's that explanation. He's also roided himself up exponentially. Presumably, he attacked the UTO Research Center on planet Tanamar with the same intent and did not expect to encounter Samus Aran. So, the leaders of the space pirates? He's essentially the leader. All of a sudden. Bearing in mind, this is not outright confirmed apart from in a developer interview, and the actual information can change at any time. This is set after Super Metroid, where the space pirates were well and truly defeated. How? And I was always under the impression as well that he hated the space pirates as well. You can't tell, but I shrugged. So, like, yes, this explains how he's using the space pirates, and he's probably not directly fusing all space pirates with Metroids. Because you can see physical transformations when a Metroid fusion, if you will, does occur. So he's taking over the leaders. They're obeying him, because he's essentially the father of the clones. And using those leaders as pawns to get the other space pirates to do as he wants and not attack him. But again, where did these space pirates come from? Because, like I said, this is apparently after Super Metroid, where they're not supposed to be a thing anymore, to the point, excuse me, that any space pirate after Super Metroid have been clones and under Galactic Federation control. Like, there haven't been any other mentions of them. So, like, clearly, they're still around. But then that kind of diminishes and puts into question what the whole deal with Zebus was. So, obviously, I feel like they're going to explain a bit more, and there could be, like, thoughts I'm not thinking of. Nanomachine's daughter, they are cool as hell and can hijack random alien stuff. Probably after Other M too, but not before Fusion. I thought Other M as well, like, after that. Because Samus's suit, funnily enough, the arm cannon is quite similar to Other M, both in color, and it has some design traits from it. There's also the info in the World Data Book. What is that again? I mean, Silex becoming a leader of the Space Pirates, it does make sense since the pirates were without a leader post-Super. But that's the thing. The Space Pirates are supposed to crumble without leadership. Like, obviously, there are different sides of the Space Pirates. There's the Zebesians. There's, you know, the typical, like, Prime pirates, which seem to be a bit more independent. Or at least can function without leadership. So the Zebesians seem more like a hive mind. Or like a bug colony sort of thing. Whereas Space Pirates in the Prime game seem to be a bit more sentient, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Maybe they were a different faction. Aren't key hunters said to be pirates from another galaxy, part of the galaxy? I think they are from like another part of the galaxy, yeah. But that could be a case of like the Covenant, for example, where they got controlled, like they're under their control. And are just grunts in a way. And that could be said for other space pirates as well. But it's not like all space pirates in the galaxy would have just disappeared after Mother Brain and Ridley went boom, would they? That is true. But again, based on what the games have said, the pirate structure should have collapsed and formed into separate, into a lot of separate factions. Like with different warlords and stuff like that. That would be cool to see. Like, Weevil is in charge of one of them, and a space pirate civil war. That would be sick. And then Samus is just thrown in the middle of it and is having to, like, essentially fight both sides. Like, that would be cool. Nothing is alluding to that. It's just, oh, the space pirates are still around. Despite the game, despite Super Metroid making it quite clear that Mother Brain, the leader of the entire faction, is defeated. And with seemingly no backup. See, this is where pirate logs would have been very fucking helpful. Like, so this is like a big gripe like, of the game, I'm going to say. Why do we only fight space pirates in the first 5 minutes of the game? We should have had space pirates throughout the game, maybe have a pirate facility in the mines or something, or Flare Pool, Vault Forge, pirates somewhere. Because if Samus, Silex, and all these other people can come to Vuros, same with structures and vehicles and all this tech, where are the people? Where are the Federation troopers? Where are the space pirates? Where have they gone? And, like, so many got to Vuros. Where's the rest of them? And, like, if there was a single section of the game where you go through, like, a pirate camp, and there's logs there that you can scan, that could have added so much context. Like, pirates talking about Silex becoming in charge. Like, oh, the leaders have suddenly had a change of heart, And there's this guy that we have to follow the instructions of. Anyone who questions his orders, like, is never seen again, sort of thing. Where are these Metroids coming from? Haven't we been trying to collect these for eons? And yeah, like, everyone just kind of, I don't know. It's, pirates needed to be in this game more. They needed to have logs and scans to add further context. TLDR. Because we have all these questions about, are these, speaking of the Metroids, are they even actually Metroids? No, they're clones. But they also look like the it's not mini-roids. The Mock-Troids from Super Metroid. Which would be a neat way to explain, like, to connect those two. But there's nothing. There's nothing here. I'm definitely going to be using this clip in the video. This game offers and asks so many questions, like both from me and as a story being told. It answers next to none of them. And yeah, that's the thing, like, they're so clearly Mock-Troids. Sorry, I'm kind of skipping a few chats. I will read them. But yeah, these, I'm calling them Mock-Troids. And they seemingly have the twisted ability to possess stuff, which is what the X do. Has Silex, like studied and, like, altered the genetics or whatever the biomechanical, like, code of the Metroids is, to essentially reverse to become essentially X-parasites that he can control. And that's the thing. We see Metroids, air quotes, twice in Metroid Prime 4. And it's within 5 minutes of the first 5 minutes of the game. And about 2 minutes apart. All the bosses in the game have some form of, like, oh, they're possessed by Metroids. Where are they? How did a Metroid possess Carvex? How did it possess not Cryolinks. Let me see if bosses can just help me out here. Metroid Prime 4. Yeah, Carvex is Zelios. That's a Metroid. That's a Metroid, somehow. I think. Yeah, so a Metroid, not only is it part Metroid, it's a machine, if I remember right? Organic artificial intelligence, okay. And a Metroid's possessing it. But look at that Metroid. That does not look like one. Yeah, so Carvex is fused with a Metroid. Metroid species. Why is the species so far down? So, like, let's look at the... For consistency's sake, let's look at the Metroid Prime Metroid. That... They are so different. 3 nuclei, 1. Like, this isn't a Metroid. This is. Albeit a different species, this is not a Metroid. Keratos, that's also part Metroid now. Benaros, that's also part Metroid. Yeah, so where are these Metroids? I think Silex and the Omega Griever are the only actual, like, non-Metroid bosses. Lamas. Yeah, that's also part Metroid. Behemoth. No, Behemoth is also not. Yeah, Behemoth isn't fused to the Metroid. Okay, let me actually read the chat. It's not like Gold Space, but yeah, right, that one. Mother Brain was kind of really a Zebus group thing, especially since Super Metroid's MB was a replica, not actually the Chozo made MB herself. That is true. But Mother Brain definitely, at the very least, like, announced herself as the leader of the Space Pirates and, like, became, like, above Ridley, who is, like, 100% a high-ranking member of the Space Pirates. So if he's submitting to her, then, like, she is just the leader. To be fair, the pirates we see in other Ammo Fusion are only CPU scenes. That is true. Sorry, this is going way back now. I've been on a rant. God, I've missed a lot. Sorry, guys. Pirates are multiple faction species. Yeah, key hunters aren't space pirates, rather they joined forces. Those who joined forces were space pirates. Okay. That's always been in the Japanese law. The one species thing was because Andrew Jones said that. That's the thing. Like, I don't speak Japanese. I haven't looked into the Japanese law. I know it's different. But especially if we're going in the context of Prime. Like, I don't know. That's the... I don't know where I could go with that. I don't know the Japanese law, so my only frame of reference and, like, conversation is the English law. And, like, half the series is made by a Western studio. It never made sense that all the space pirates across the galaxy would have shrugged and went home once Mother Brain and Ridley died. That's why I disliked the whole, like, thing with Other Realm where it said, like, they need leadership in order to function as individuals at all. It's like I never liked that. But then I feel like that's also poor on the game itself, or on the series itself, where, like, even Federation Force touched on the consequences of phase. Like, that was a major blow to the Space Pirates. It's one of the first things they said in Federation Force. Like, they are struggling and recovering. And it's talking about the Space Pirates as an entirety. But, like, which is weird. Like, why doesn't Prime 4 do that? Given it's Prime 4. And especially if it is after Super Metroid, I feel like there should be more of a, like, this is a sub-faction of Space Pirates that Silex has accumulated. Not, he's the leader of the Space Pirates. To go back to, like, a Star Wars equivalent, like, after Episode 6, the Empire breaks into several factions and splinter groups with different warlords. It would be like Silex is back, and suddenly so is the Empire. We call that The Force Awakens. Yeah, it's essentially a Force Awakens situation. Which is actually kind of nuts to say. The World Data Book is a little booklet that was put out in Japan as a PDF, then translated and posted on Nintendo Now app. Wikitroid has it. Oh, that's what that was. No, I'm not looking up Wikitroid. World Data Book. I feel like I've written it wrong. Nintendo Today, World Data Book. Oh, we could read this, actually. Now, we probably should. Because this, I actually don't remember much of. Like, I briefly went through it. Okay, this is it. World Data Book. This should have been a manual. Yeah, we'll read this as well. But I'm going to read chat first. And I'm going to zoom in. Is that going to be fine? Oh, am I going to have to... Yeah, I'm going to have to do that every time. That's fine. My problem with space pirates existing after Super doesn't... my problem with space pirates existing after Super Metroid doesn't make sense to me. I know organizations can be established, but the way Otherm presents it, as though the organization is gone, Fusion does the same thing as well. Again, this is why pirate logs would have been very welcome. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This was probably just one of the holdout factions Silex took control over. That's the thing. It's not said, and how it is described as he's just the leader of the Space Pirates now. Like, it probably is the case where it's a splinter faction, and they could have it, like, be retconned to be that, and still have the original line make sense. But, like, really, it should be splinter groups, but how it is conveyed, it's just Space Pirates. I think it makes sense for Space Pirates to vanish after Mother Brain's second defeat. Space Pirates came around at the time the Federation was established. This means the organization would have been around for at least 20 years. Otherm really only addressed the Zebesian group, and even then, Otherm really wasn't consistent with all the other lore either. That is true. They were eaten by sand whales. I wish, like, that would be an explanation. I mean, does Super Metroid itself really say anything about what would happen to the pirates if MB was destroyed? I feel like it's... like, it doesn't explicitly say stuff, but the implication is everything the Space Pirates are doing is revolving around Zebes. Even Prime implies this. Like, it's such a keystone location for the Space Pirates. Like, it was not a small facility. Like, it was a home base. Like, they named a group of pirates after it. It was vital. And it being destroyed would have done a major logistical blow to everything. Same with Phazon being erased. Like, that would have crippled the Space Pirates. That's why they're such a small force in Federation Force, and why they're doing experiments to see what they can do to get a better foothold. I'm gonna say a sentence that is crazy. Federation Force does better justification for the Space Pirates than Prime 4 does. Which is wild. Has a better... does more with the Space Pirates than Prime 4 does. Which is funny, considering the pirates were in the marketing of Prime 4 more than they were in Federation Force. Speaking of, I like the mech. I'm so glad they primified the mech. But Federation was probably around for just under a century going by dialogue in the manga and other lore bits. I do hope they touch up the manga and, like, update it. They look like Metroids, but they're somehow Metroids. Metroids with new fusion abilities. That's the thing. Metroids, if, like, that's just what they are. Like, it could be in a, like, diegetic sense of, like, oh, these people don't actually know what these are. Like, to the untrained eye, they could just look like Metroids. They look, sound, and act like Metroids, except they don't. And it's kind of based off of random eyewitness reports that could be accurate, could be not accurate, sort of thing. The only truth is there's an attack and Silex was involved, sort of thing. They're a strain of Metroids. The official names Metroid or Silex is Metroid. That's the thing. They are called Metroids, but they're not. They look different. They act different. They have abilities that Metroids don't have. Metroids don't do that. They don't fuse with another thing and control it. They have 1 nucleus and 8 mandibles. Yeah, like they are just a different entity. It seems like Sox can't clone them any more successfully than the Pyrex could in Super. Yeah, like, and they could be the same thing. They could be from the same batch or something. Those ain't proper core variant Metroids, and we can never scan one. I hate that we can't scan them. It's annoying. I will catch up to the chat shortly. Yeah, I'm pretty far back. That's my biggest issue with Prime 4. Yeah, I think what's there is decent, but there are so many unanswered questions regarding the pirates and their place in the galaxy post-Super. That is, like, a huge part. And, like I said, scans for pirates would have gone so far. It's like they prepared a huge meal, gave us a taste, and then gave us another meal without any explanations. And went like, you will eat this food and you will like it, don't ask questions. I'm not blaming the devs at all. I feel like they were heavily constrained with what they could and couldn't do. They had a checklist. Open world. The story, I will put the blame on. Because, like, they have control over that. Surely with, like, Nintendo's, like, say, but, like... Yeah, like, I feel like they did what they could, and they had the best of intentions, but couldn't do what they wanted. Because a trend I've noticed with Retro is when they're more directed and told what to do, the worse their project is. So, Metroid Prime, they did a lot of it. And, like, there were parts here and there that, like, they told Nintendo, we're doing it our way. Which is fucking bold. And, like, Nintendo still tried to tell them what to do, sort of thing. But eventually, they were just like, here's some advice. Do with that what you will. The famous visor inspiration. Echoes, that was all Retro. And I feel like that is one of, like, their best, like, ever. Arguably. But, like, Echoes is incredible. And then Corruption, they were a bit more influenced physically. Not physically, but you know what I mean. And I feel like the game struggled a little bit because of that. It's still a great game, but it's not as good. Prime 4 is that to the extreme. I feel like Nintendo really had really got their hands on the team, told them what to do. And there was a lot of pressure, no doubt. They're making a sequel to one of the best trilogies in gaming that has a very vocal fan base. There's so much hype. The announcement trailer for it, people went wild for it. It got cancelled and then restarted. And yeah, I don't envy them. They had a lot riding them. This is why I'm going to say Prime 5, if it ever does happen, is going to be better. These may not even be Moctroids, but another imperfect Metroid clone. They can be, but they do look like Moctroids, and we don't see enough of Moctroids to really tell what they do. We've seen Metroids plenty. They don't possess other things. Their food does. Nope, they're not called Metroids. They're called Metroids, I believe. It's on Japanese website, and they're called Silex Metroids. That's the thing. Yes, they're called Metroids. They're just not. They're just really not. Like, looking at them, seeing what they do, they're not Metroids except in name. They're only Metroids in our hearts. And I'm not saying that as, like, canonical. Like, they're definitive Metroids. Of course, the label is Metroid. But it shouldn't be, because that doesn't make sense. But they're not proper real Metroids like the SR388 strain or even the Talon Metroid strain. Yeah, like, there's different strains, different species. This is a botched clone that's mutated and has become its own thing. So they are more, so they are more just a better Metroid with better PR. The Talon strain isn't even real either. They're called Talon Metroids because of their exposure to Phazon. In a sense, yes, they're Metroid Modoki, pseudo-Metroids. Yeah, a subspecies. Like, they eventually have their own life cycle. Like, they're not SR388 Metroids. It's the same of, like, a tiger and a lion. They're both Panthera, but they're different. With the Metroids, it'd be like having a cat is suddenly a dog. Beyond what also especially reference the pirates had multiple species involved. That is true. Somehow Metroids returned, pirates. Talon Metroids are more vulnerable to things other than extreme cold as well, and it's always been in the lore that Metroid biology and evolution is influenced by their environment. Very true. Echoes doubles down on that. And so does Samus Returns. Yeah, they really should have clarified that Prime 4 pirates are just a holdout faction. They really should have. It should have been clarified. I can't remember what you're saying. Yes, you should to Chosen Huntress. Fusion is also... Alright, time to get back to art practice. See you all later. It's fun discussing, theorizing. Yeah, it's been fun. Fusion is also several years after Super. Other MMOs were in weeks to months after. Yes, have fun. I'm nearly here, guys. Zebus was the capital of the Chozo Empire prior to their withdrawal. It makes sense why the pirates were fixated there. Yeah, it's a purely, like, bloating thing. Consider that even only Samus ever directly encountered the Metroids on Zebus. We don't even know if these Metroids can do the suck. It's safe to say they can't, because they act so much like the X. It's like, that's the thing. I feel like they're, the function of absorbing X was inverted to instead, like, inhibit the behavior of what they're looking out for, sort of thing. Really delve into the parasitic nature of Metroids. The Prime 4 intro makes me want a Star Fox plus Metro crossover game. I kind of don't. Like, as a separate thing, sure, but I don't know. I want Metroid to be Metroid. I feel like that's going to be a hot take. Samus goes on ground mission, Star Fox handles the sky. I want Samus in the sky too. Like, I don't know, I'll go over, like, there's more to say, like, more I have to say on that specifically in the video. I think Other M is the only one that goes against Metroid not developing differently depending on environment. Not necessarily. The bottle ship was a recreation. I full on did the fucking nerd point up. So the bottle ship is a recreation of Zebus. Metroids didn't really undergo anything on Zebus. So I feel like that reinforces it even more. Like, Zebus is kind of okay. Like, a Metroid on Zebus will stay in the larval form. Sure, the Super Metroid got big, but I feel like that's because it was cloned. Which, bear in mind, by the end of the game, you are fighting other Metroids, not Moctroids. So the pirates figured it out at the end, so they can clone a Metroid properly. Other Metroids are like a lot of conventional parasitoids. Silux's ones are like cordyceps. They're similar, but they are not the same thing. Oh, excuse me. We need a Star Fox Metro crossover because that would make furries canon to the Metroid universe. Aren't they already? Right. That was kind of a joke. Right, we're gonna look into the data book now, properly. Okay, and this is official as far as I'm aware. Let me see, is that the full page? It is. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, this is the full, like, this is canon, or official at the very least, because this was on the Nintendo app thing. Prologue, Cosmic Year 20X6. Metroid eggs secretly stored in a certain research center of the Galactic Federation were forcibly hatched. Eggs. Okay. The hatchlings were taken. It was the work of Silex, taking advantage of the imprinting characteristics of Metroids. Literally confirmed then. He then cultured and multiplied the Metroids, and in the process succeeded in his experiment to give them a new ability to merge with and control other organisms. So he did experiment on them. Okay. Why isn't this in the game? By controlling officer-class individuals of the pirates via the Metroids, Silex built a new army for himself and orchestrated the attacks on the Galactic Federation's research centers one after another. His aim was to acquire new technologies and weapons to strengthen his army and himself, and he was able to upgrade his own battlesuit to a nanosuit of the latest model. Samus is in the sky. I had this huge dream about Samus is in the sky. Tell us about it in excruciating details, Armstrong. Touche. Why is my chat, like, auto-translated? That's really weird. Like, you're not even... Why did that translate? I can't figure that out now. Normal Metroids aren't parasitoids or parasites. Really? They're always described as such. Well, yeah, in a way that's like, the X is more of what you think of a parasite to be. Like taking over a being, hosting them, and then making them do what you want, sort of thing. Whereas the Metroids are kind of just feeding. I guess indirectly hosting a being to extract the X from in it, but like they're not always doing that. And they're not like, you know, keeping the host alive. They're just kind of eating. The Silex Metroids are the first example we've seen of Metroids actually showing parasitic behavior. Yeah, that's true. Metroids are more like predators. Yeah, they've been called like parasitic predators, which is kind of a paradox, I think. Okay. Let's go on. The UTO Research Center, a facility located on the remote planet Tanamar, was one... That's not very remote, is it? I'm thinking of Rogue. I'm thinking of a rogue planet, not remote. Was one of the targets, and it was raided one day by Silex's forces. Upon receiving the SOS from the research center, the Galactic Federation headquarters enlisted the help of Samus Aran, a bounty hunter who was on a reconnaissance mission nearby. Samus's combat power was estimated to be equivalent to more than one company of the Galactic Federation's troops, so it was agreed that she would be the fastest and most powerful rescue party. I think that is a severe underestimation. She has saved the galaxy quite a couple times. You know what I mean. She has saved the galaxy a couple times. And, like, she is a walking arsenal. Metroids are basically space vampires. That's not a bad analogy, actually, yeah. Parasites have more long-term relationship with their host. Yeah, so, like, the X-Parasite is a well and true parasite. Whereas the Metroids are just predators who target a parasite. After receiving the request, Samus rushed to Tanamar and landed at the research center, taking down Silex's forces on the way. Silex's target was a mysterious artifact that was being analyzed there. Silex finally comes face to face with Samus, who was defending the artifact together with Federation troopers, and when they exchanged fire, an incident occurs. Makes it sound like Samus is a random bounty hunter, a random Boba Fett, which is a funny comparison. It's like, you feel like they'd respect Samus a bit more than just call her that. It's like, nah, she's essentially the Master Chief of this universe. Well, that sounds about right for raw firepower. An entire company, not a squad. I don't know. Because her skill as well, like, okay, I guess at the very start of the game, like, with the equipment she has, sure. But I don't know, I feel like Samus is, like, that's still a severe underestimation. There aren't many equals to Samus. Planet Vuros. A planet in a separate dimension that does not exist in any galaxy currently under the control of the Galactic Federation. The instability of the planet's overall magnetic field leads to significant local climatic variations. Initially poor in mineral resources that could be converted into energy, the planet's intelligent Lamorn civilization would run out of energy in just a few thousand years as its civilization developed, and the ecosystem would also decline. Lamorn. What's the difference between company and squad? Speaking of Master Chief, are you going to play the new game? I am, yes. I'm going to play that with my friend Jazz. A typical military company is between 100 to 200 individuals. I'd still say more than that, as in, like, she's worth more than that. Like, I can see the logic, but I feel like this is Samus you're on about. And she doesn't need the resources of a company. Okay. Lamorn, a space race that once inhabited Vuros. Although it boasted an advanced machine era, the depletion of energy steered it towards a civilization centered on psychic powers. Another catalyst was the discovery of the Vuros crystal at a mining facility. The processed crystals were implanted in the foreheads of the Lamorn, enabling the ordinary members of the race who did not possess psychic abilities to activate their powers. With this, the Lamorn strived to achieve a life that did not depend on machines. They're rating her raw firepower. Right, okay. She basically is worth the raw power and resources of a whole unit, a whole 100 to 200 man unit. Sure, yeah. And I feel like better still, because, like, she has the utility, like, to get around with like, the morph ball and get through places with her scan visor, for example. Including officers, NCOs as far as experience. Space Mudkip. I'm going to talk about the design of the head in the video as well, because that is part of my experience with the game. You know what I'm going to imply. Sacred Tree. The Sacred Tree had existed long before the Lamorn took their first steps into the jungle of Fury Green, and its compatibility to communicate was discovered by the Lamorn's first priest, Thessar. Later, through generations of priests, the Lamorn's history, knowledge, and skills were memorized in the Sacred Tree. Thus, a database of all the Lamorn was constructed. That they're axolotl? Not that specifically. I think Huntress knows where I'm going to go with that. Because I think I've said that to her before. I could be wrong. The head looks like a Metroid Prime. Yeah. Have some water. Excuse me. It's still an understatement. Samus can go full Doom Guy and piss on them. I mean, blow a hole into the surface of Mars if she wanted to. To be fair, she would need, like, full power for that. It's like a company, they're going to be used for different things. A company would be used as a large-scale force, a hammer, to Samus's scalpel. She's a lot more precise. So, yeah, in a way, like what Huntress was saying, the power and ability and stuff like that of a company is just compressed into one being. As your axolotls with a vagina door obsession that evolved into Metroid Prime essences. I will also talk about that. Lamorn Priest. The Lamorn had a special group of individuals who were born in a ratio of 1 in tens of thousands. Excuse me. Actually, let me do life track because I'm missing those. There we go. They were born with a circular crystal on their foreheads, which governed the activation of their psychic abilities through willpower. These particular Lamorn have been ritually selected as priests for generations, taking over the role of communication with the sacred tree and continuing the Lamorn faith. Metroid's in my vagina door more likely than you think. Did you notice that Chatoya is called Chatoyant in some parts? I thought that was just a typo someone had earlier. I didn't notice that, no. Okay, Psychic Crystal. A hidden treasure enshrined in another dimension, a sacred resting space of the Lamorn. It was to be given to the Chosen One, who was prophesied to bring salvation from another world when the plague of destruction was about to befall the Lamorn. Excuse me. Oh, hang on one sec. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. I forgot how incessant these ads are. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Excuse me. Jatoyan might be some sort of honorific. Oh, okay. That would be cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're able to tune in, Arrows. Thank you for joining. I won't be on too much longer. I'll read through this and then hop off because my voice is starting to grate a little bit. This is the most I've talked in one go in a while. They kidnapped Gregory. Someone sent Glamrock Freddy. Oh no. Yeah, I'm gonna have a new model soon. Yeah. At some point.
How my motivation has been.
Yeah. At some point. You're gonna have this one for a little longer. It could be about my initial idea was like a suffix for his role for being high priest. That's fair enough. Like an honor name. Like with Halo and like the elites, like Vadam, Vadami. Is it getting a lot off? Oh damn, hell yeah.
Pass me that
The bin?
Sorry.
Oh, that's full.
Yeah, there's just Sonic one.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. I'm hitting everything. Might hear things.
Might hear me telling my win.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just start this one again. Okay, Psychic Crystal. A hidden treasure enshrined in another dimension, a sacred resting space of the Lamorn. It was chosen to be given to the Chosen One, who was prophesied to bring salvation from another world when the plague of destruction was about to befall the Lamorn, or the Lamorn. It differs from the crystal that were later mass-produced, but there is no clear record of when or how it was created. However, a likely theory is that it was built by combining crystals from successive generations of priests. Huh. So the crystals got corrupt. Psychic item. Items to expand psychic abilities left behind by successive Lamorn priests following the prophecy. Various types of ability items were left throughout Veros, ranging from Psychic Glove or Control Beam, which allowed the manipulation of psychic energy through willpower, to Psychic Lasso, which transformed psychic energy into a rope-like form to enable towing operations. Yeah. Shrines of Sol Valley. Generations of Lamorn priests built shrines for the Chosen One, in which only those with psychic abilities could enter, and stored a substantial amount of green energy crystals and items to offer. Some of these shrines required one to use their psychic abilities to solve a puzzle in order to obtain items. Yeah, jeez, you can make another cat out of that. God damn.
It helps you.
Yeah. God, Dexter's gonna hate that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah. The Last Lamorn. In the history of the Lamorn, the priest has always been the leader of the people. The last priest, Chetoya, was also the last of the Lamorn. After 12 comrades had departed into the cosmos to guide the Chosen One, he remained alone in Veros, awaiting their return. When he realized his death was approaching, he left messages for the Chosen One. She behaving?
Yes, she likes it down.
Wild.
Probably feels nice having all the.
Yeah, it looked like she even leaned into you to like keep doing it. Friendly tail. It's her cat, by the way.
Fuck you.
Chai's cat. Yeah, Chai's cat. What wouldn't give for a physical translated version of the Prime 4 databook that could fit in my Switch case? God, I'd love that too. Oh, this wasn't. Oh no, this was on the app translated. Yeah, I'd like these printed. That is true. Hey Greg, it's been a while. How you doing? I'm doing okay. My voice is starting to hurt now. Yeah, we've gone through the Lamorn lore, and we're just reading the world data book now. And after that, I will head off. How many pages are there?
Oh, sorry.
Did you poke her in the face or something?
She lifted her head up as I went to greet her, so I just popped her on the back of the head. Very big. Good kitty.
Interesting thing, in Italian, Chetoya always refers to the Chosen One as a he, which in Italian is also used as gender neutral. Interesting.
Oh, where are you going? Nope.
Oh no. That's a lot of fur.
Yeah. Back.
Install a psychic crystal, communicate to us telepathically, just don't show us a trauma.
All over the living room. The living room.
Yeah. I can hoover after. The only memory fruit. The only way to retrieve all of the Lamorn's data recorded in the sacred tree is to fructify or fructify. Fructify. I'm an idiot. To fructify the memory fruit. To grow the memory fruit, one must use the device on the altar in the Temple of Memory to convert green energy crystals into psychic energy and inject a sufficient amount into the sacred tree. By growing the memory fruit into a tree, the data inside will become accessible to those with psychic abilities. Master Teleporter. A large teleporter manufactured by the surviving Lamorn after the Great Tragedy. It enables instantaneous movement across space as well as time and dimensions. 5 keys are required for activation. The last Lamorn entrusted the keys to 5 guardian deities to protect the keys from all but the chosen one. Sol Valley and Chrono Tower. The various regions of Vuros are interconnected with a desolate land known as Sol Valley at its center. They're not interconnected. Sol Valley is the only connection. After the Great Tragedy, the surviving Lamorn take refuge in Chrono Tower, built in the center of Sol Valley with a floating vault at its pinnacle. All devices built into the interior of the tower are powered by psychic energy and become controllable by connecting to the tower. So yeah, like, Silex 100% had control over the tower at the very least. Anything else, he probably had to go out of his way to go and do it, or take over a Cybot to do it for him. Because yeah, the Silex we see at Blairpool, most likely just a Cybot, which is also another complaint I have. Fury Green and the Temple of Memory. After first communicating with the sacred tree, Thessar proceeded to build a temple to worship the sacred tree deep in the jungle of Fury Green. The Lamorn then began a life of faith, worshipping the sacred tree and engaging in daily prayer. However, with the progression of the machine era, the custom was gradually forgotten. I'd like it to load. Okay. Vault Forge. Such a cool name. When the machine era was at its height, the Lamorn developed a 2-wheeled vehicle for transportation named Viola, and began mass production. As time went by, the latest model was developed with a specialized suit and the ability to recognize individual owners. However, this model was never mass-produced, and the machine era came to an end. Blairpool and Green Energy. A facility to extract, refine, and condense green energy from magma... was constructed within the crater of the Blairpool volcano. Moreover, a massive cannon-shaped device was used to pour energy from the sky to the land in an attempt to revitalize plants and animals. Not a good idea. Ice-Belt Biolab. This facility was built for the purpose of genetic research on the organisms that inhabit Vuros. Is she not happy anymore?
Because she's making it difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, shush, you get treats. That you can't pet you.
Covered in snow and ice, it exists under harsh conditions of constant cryogenic temperatures. After the Great Tragedy, it became a facility specializing in the study of Lamorn genetics, where researchers continued to experiment until the very end. In the Great Mines, to mine the rare mineral resources of Vuros, an elevator was constructed to reach deep into the earth, and massive drills excavated the side walls. The crystals discovered here would later change the fate of the Lamorn forever. And then that's the last page. Remember these guys. Huh?
Oh. You're acting like I'm beaten. You are getting treats.
I think I'm also going to have to go now. Everyone have a good one. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I'm glad you, it was a bit random, but yeah, I'm glad you guys, tuned in.
Still The king. Oh.
The grumbles. I do actually kind of like that most of Silex's actions on viewers were basically done over Zoom. Dude adopted the work from home model for his villainy. I heavily dislike it. You know, like, you might know, one of my biggest criticisms of Metroid Dread, which is an incredible game, Ravenbeak didn't feel present, despite being there the entire time, essentially. It's essentially Silex again. We see him at the start. He pops up here and there, and is only at the end. With a flashback reveal. It's Ravenbeak again. Calling Earth. Earth is like naming our planet Dirt. It is true. It's got a lot of dirt and a lot of water. Water. I'm surprised we don't say Terra. Same with like Luna. So yeah, like, so this answered one or two questions, but it doesn't, and they should have been in the game anyway, but, or at the very least, part of a booklet that comes with it. Like, I feel like it doesn't really solve any issues with the story and lore. So, yeah, not TLDR, but like, I'm just going to preface that the story and the lore is by far, I wouldn't even say by far, it's one of my biggest issues with the game. Like, there was even a part where I was like, this might be worse than Other M. Yeah, that's a criticism I share of Dread, but he's still about as present in MP4 as Dark Samus was present in Prime 2 and 3. Disagreed. She was actually there. Like, at the start of Echoes, you see her. You go through a portal with her. Then she calls on, like, essentially leaves and the Ing attack you. The next time you see her, she's actually doing work. She crashes through a building. She drains Phazon from a pirate facility. Then you beat her. Then the next time she re-emerges and emphasizes that she can't just be killed. And then leaves again. Then the next time you see her, she's killing space pirates. Oh, is she suddenly not with the space pirates? And then the space pirates are talking all about her. She has presence in the game story, and of course, like corruption, she has something to do with everything. She's more present in Echoes, of course, because she's literally there, and everyone is talking about her. But yeah, no, I feel like that's okay. Maybe what's another M? I don't hold that feeling now, because at the very least, I'm talking about it. I don't want to talk about Other M's story. And there's a lot of, like, thematic discussions that could be had, whether intentional or not. This game made me feel a lot. It has a lot of emotional impact and strength for me. I didn't feel that with Other M at all. So, like, yeah, I take back, like, that feeling of, like, oh, like, this is worse than Other M. It's not. It really isn't. That was, like, a kind of knee-jerk reaction. be fair, those were dark space pirates in the fortress, but she has a history of attacking regular pirates as well. Like, the pirates talk about it. Wouldn't go that far, Greg. Yeah, no, I take it back. Like, I don't actually feel that way. Like, I'm actually interested to talk about Prime 4 story and lore. Like, that's why this stream is happening. Silex, Silex, and I think that Silex was basically fighting Samus through the Cybot duplicates, so I think it still counts as Silex appearances. It feels cheap, though. It really feels cheap. Because it's not fighting Samus through Cybot duplicates. That's kind of what Dark Samus does in Corruption. In more of a literal sense. She's possessing these hunters and is fighting you through them. Not so much Gandrada, she's more willing. But then Dark Samus takes them. And is still there. And there's still the threat of Dark Samus always being around. Silex, the first Cybot boss you defeat, all tension was gone. So, oh, he's just not here then. Like, that was the point where I started to doubt the story. Because it's not Silex. Because, especially at the end of the game, they make it clear that Silex is Silex. Because he's charismatic. Like, he's got personality. So it's got Ganondorf? Kind of. To be fair, those were Dark Pirates in the Fortress, so she was against yeah, that's the thing. Dark Samus is against everyone. Unless it benefited her. I think the whole Cybot thing makes sense as a way to explain how Silex survives his fights with Samus. He can't exactly disperse into phazon particles like Dark Samus. They could have written it so he weasels out of it. They easily could have done something to not make it feel cheap. Like, he could have called in his gunship. Where was that? He could have morphed into the Lockjaw, blown something up, and escaped. They could have done something better. Personally, I think what's there in Prime 4's story is decent. The problem is what's not there and all the unanswered questions. That's the big issue here. Agreed. It's like, yeah, what is here? Like, the first, 10 minutes of the game, maybe even, half an hour, incredible. It's an amazing first impression. The setup with the Space Pirates, with Silex, the mystery of where you are on Vuros, the artifact, what the hell does that do? The Lamorn, how did that all come about? I can't wait to fight the Space Pirates and see how they develop, and how is Silex involved with the Space Pirates and the Metroids? Only the Lamorn stuff is disappointing because it seems idiotic. At least that's how it comes off. Desperate. Then Silex, his stuff is revealed in a scan. You never fight pirates again. It's a good first act. That's it. It's like they made the first act a game. Made a game out of a first act and couldn't do... What a game also has to have is 3 acts. Because if they make a trilogy out of this, then the story of this game would have to be analyzed within the context of that trilogy. Prime didn't have that issue. Prime was quite self-contained. It was, complex. It told its own stories. Then even Echoes, it's fairly self-contained. There's a loose connection to Prime 1 with Dark Samus and Phazon. But that's not the central story, really. The center of the story is saving the Luminoth. Everything revolves around that. Like, your Prime 1, you're saving nature. In Echoes, you're recovering from war and darkness. 3 is where it does start to be a bit more story-focused. And that's where the struggle with corruption comes in. It's trying to connect the stories that 1 and 2 told to put it into one package. And it did okay with what it could. But Prime 4, yeah, like I said, it's a first act when the game itself should have a complete series of arcs and acts. So we'll probably look back on this in the future. Like, I wish Prime 4's story was better. Maybe in this new trilogy, if 1 is happening, it might end up being good retroactively. And it's like the pieces will fall into place. We'll get the answers in Prime 5, and then maybe some more questions in Prime 5 that'll get answered in 6. But as it is right now, it's not enough. But I don't think there's anything in Prime 4 that's character assassinating or ruins the lore of the series like Other M Hand. Samus is weird in Beyond. She's weirdly standoffish. Like, I don't think making her completely silent was the right move in this game. Maybe have her say 1 or 2 things. Completely silent, like, non-verbal, I don't think was the right direction. I feel like she should have had a moment or two where she spoke to someone, because she just comes off as rude. She really does. But I also feel like the game could have been written better in the sense that she shouldn't have been written to be put in those situations where she should have responded. I'm not saying she should have just spoken Chozo. No one would have understood what she said. But yeah, like, Samus is odd, and I feel like at the end of the game, like, the choice she's forced to make at the end of the game, it feels out of character. I feel like she would do everything in her power to save those people, and I feel like it should have been a shot from Silex that makes the choice for her, not her own. And especially with the post-ending cutscene, there should have been a corruption-like ending where she thinks back on the troopers. Sorry, full spoilers. And, like, we don't even know if they're actually dead. But they are trapped in a dimension with Silex. I do agree there, but still nowhere near as bad as her characterization in Other M. Yeah, no, Other M is objectively horrendous. Like, that is character assassination. But Samus, it's like, she makes a choice that I feel like was written poorly and should have been done for her. And then she comes off as a bit standoffish. Which isn't... It's more of a reflection on the writing rather than, like, Samus herself sort of thing. And it's like, sure, it's a reflection of the writing in Other M as well, but, like, this is what, like, Other M is what Sakamoto intended Samus to be. Like, to him, that's her. Whereas this, like, based on what we've seen and how Samus can be, she's a little out of character, I'd say. But yeah, not assassinated, like some have said. Sure, Silex's backstory is not what we expected, but it's not like he was much of an established character before, and the story we did get has some potential. I am a little disappointed that my idea wasn't used. No, like, that part doesn't bother me at all. Like, I just threw out a theory, like, for the fun of it. I went in open-minded to see what they would do. I don't mind what they've done. I feel like, again, there needs to be more context. We're missing a lot of context. And scans and logs would have done a lot for that. And Silex appearing more in general, like, would have done a lot. Yeah, the baby. What could she really have done, though? If she didn't use the teleporter, everyone would have died. That's the thing. She had to make an impossible choice that everyone was telling her to make. And it's like, that's why I emphasized feels out of character, because it's obviously the right one to make for her. But it's like the Adam sacrifice scene. These troopers can hold Silex back while Samus runs, but if she stays, it, like, threats that only she can deal with will get to run free. I feel like take the choice away from her and have her grieve. The problem I had with Prime 4 scans is they basically reiterated the story we saw in cutscenes. Essentially, yeah. I feel like there was an overabundance of cutscenes as well. There wasn't enough left open to interpretation, which is funny because we're interpreting a lot of stuff. And talking about how there isn't more concrete stuff. But, like, that's the thing. It feels like it's both. Sorry, it feels like it's both. There we go. Like, it said a lot, but not a lot at the same time. I feel like the writing from, like, the troopers and stuff like that could have gone to logs. Yeah, it's... Prime 4, you are an interesting one. I think about you a lot. You get me talking. Like, that's the thing. Prime 4 is not boring. At all. Like, and that's the case with, like, Federation Force and even Other M. It was boring. Infuriating as well, but mostly boring. This isn't to me. It's really interesting, and I'm analyzing it a lot. I'm, like, looking into the themes, and if they're even intended. Because that's the thing I spoke with Chai about a while ago, when I first beat the game. Like, there's a lot of feelings and themes that the game feels like it's going in. But I don't know if it's intentional. And it's like, it could very well not have been. Like how I described when I first beat the game, I described it as the feeling of, like, loss and sadness and stuff like that. But I don't... Like, looking at the story, it feels like it is intentional, but the quality of it makes me doubt, sort of thing. And the lack of substance. It's thought-provoking. And I'm definitely, like, emotionally attached. So it's done something right. It definitely has. I just wish there was more, you know? Okay. I am going to call it there. We looked at the logs, the lore and stuff like that. We even looked at the World Data Book, which I feel like should have been printed alongside it, because then that would feel like, okay, it's part of the package. Still should have been in the game, but at least it's like, okay, it's part of the game, in a way. That's going to do it. yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Sorry the stream was a bit like random, but it was largely to test if things were all good and have an excuse to look through the lore because I needed to anyway, and just recap on the story here and there, and complain a bit. Yeah, have a good day and night wherever you guys are. Thank you for tuning in. I want to return to Metroidvania Mondays. That will be on Twitch. Anything Metroid related will be streamed here. And yeah, I'm gonna get to work on the Prime 4 video more. I'm onto something now. It was quite a struggle, like how to go about it, but I think I know the direction I want to go in. Yeah, so thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. I hope I've not been too annoying. Yeah, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.